Hello all, my name is Kenneth Rodriguez. I'm making this video for my CIS5370 class, Principles of Cybersecurity at Florida International University with Dr. Rick Blasek. Today I will be talking about the vulnerabilities found in HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it was the foundation for data communication for the World Wide Web. This was initiated in development by Tim Berners-Lee at CERN in 1989, and the first revision was in 1997 with HTTP 1.1. Later, it was HTTP 2 in 2015. What is HTTP? As mentioned earlier, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is a set of rules for transferring files, meaning text, images, sound, or video, on the World Wide Web. As soon as a web user opens their web browser, the user is directly making the use of HTTP. HTTP is an application protocol that runs on top of the TCP/IP suite of protocols, which is the foundation for the Internet. HTTP is a connectionless text-based protocol in which clients, web browsers, send requests to web servers for web elements, such as web pages, images, videos, music, any of the Internet elements. After a request is serviced by a server, the connection between client and server across the Internet is disconnected. A new connection must be made for each request. When you type a URL into a web browser, this is what happens. If the URL contains a domain name, the browser first connects to the domain name server and retrieves the corresponding IP address for the web server. The web browser connects the web server and sends an HTTP request via protocol stack for the desired web page. The web server receives the request and checks for the desired page. If the page exists, the web server sends it. If the server cannot find the requested page, it will send an HTTP 404 error message, which means page not found. The web browser receives the page back and the connection is closed. The browser then parses through the page and looks at the other elements it needs to complete the web page. These usually include images, applets, and other images. For each element needed, the browser makes additional connections and HTTP requests to the server for each element. When the browser has finished loading all images, applets, the page will completely be loaded in the browser window. So here we can see how, let me try using FTP. I'm going to log into this IP address, username test, password welcome 123. I'm using Wireshark to sniff the packets. Let me put a filter on so you guys can see. Yeah, so here you can see username, test, and password welcome 123. You can see it better. Yep. So the solution for this is HTTPS. HTTPS is the same as HTTP, but it adds a simple layer of SSL TLS, which is an encryption layer on top of regular HTTP. Server and clients still speak exactly the same as HTTP to each other, but over a secure SSL connection that encrypts and decrypts the requests and responses. The SSL layer has two main purposes: verifying that you're talking directly to the server that you think you're talking to, and ensuring that only the server can read what you send and only you can read what it sends back. The really clever part is that anyone can intercept every single one of those messages you exchange with the server, including the one you're agreeing on the key and encryption strategy to use, and still not be able to read any of the actual data that you sent. HTTPS is not unbreakable, and the SSL protocol has to evolve constantly as new attacks against it are discovered and squashed. But it's still an impressive, robust way of transmitting secret data without caring who sees your messages. There are, of course, many implementation details not mentioned here, such as the exact format and order of the handshake messages, the abbreviated handshakes to pick up recent sessions without having to renegotiate keys and cipher suits, and the numerous different encryption options available at each stage. The key thing to remember is that while HTTPS keeps data safe on the wire to its destination, it in no way protects you against XSS or database leaks or any other things that go bump in the night. Be happy that it's got your back, but stay vigilant. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys use HTTPS in